Well, hello, BookTube, and this one's kind of an unusual one. This is by viewer request. Many of you probably know Sean and his channel, where he's got mountains of books that are threatening to topple over on him at any point in time. As Michael K. Vaughan points out in his video on Can You Have Too Many Books? And lately, he's been going through and talking a lot about two authors in particular. Clifford D. Simak and A.E. Van Vogt. And since I just finished reading a story by A.E. Van Vogt in The Good Old Stuff, which is a fantastic anthology so far, I can't praise this enough. He had, of course, commented. I think he was one of the first ones to comment on the video. And I knew he would, because it was A.E. Van Vogt, and he'd been doing a lot featuring that author. And so I mentioned I had a fair amount of A.E. Van Vogt on my shelf. I thought I might have had a lot of Simak on my shelf. I was wrong. It's Gordon Dickerson that I have quite a bit of as the other author that I got a pretty fair-sized haul from. And a couple months ago I did a library tour, and I think this was all in one of the videos, but it might have been scattered across a couple. So I figured, why not just do a quick video here. Go through my two Simak books, and then my stack of Van Vogt. So some of you may have no interest in this at all. Others of you might be absolutely riveted here. And so obviously there are some Simak volumes that I absolutely must look into picking up, and I'll be reading City relatively soon. It is currently just narrowly in the lead over Day of the Triffids in the because you can go vote. I recently had a short where I mentioned 5 books that are going to be next on my list that I want to read, and you can go vote which order I should read them in, and based on how they come out of that voting process will determine the order in which I read them. And right now, City is just narrowly ahead, so we'll start off with that. It's the same cover, I think, is what Michael used in his Penguin Classics that should exist. This would be a relatively thin Penguin Classic, but it'd have a lot of stuff probably before and after. And I'm excited to read this. I know this is very, very highly regarded. It does say it's the winner of the Hugo Award. And it says, a masterful tale of an Earth overrun by ants. A series of parallel worlds ruled by dogs. And a Jupiter where the human race finds its golden age. If human, it could still be called. I mean, that's fascinating. Doesn't that make you just want to pick that up and read it? And so my other Simak is Time and Again. So Asher Sutton held a book in his hands. It was going to be written many centuries in the future. He was going to be the author. Or was he? It would be more controversial than anything ever written. Millions would give their lives fighting for or against its principles. How would he come to write it? Could he stop himself? Did he want to? It made no difference. There was a war raging somewhere in the future, and both sides were going to make sure that Asher Sutton made the right decisions. Again, 250-ish pages? Yeah, 250-ish pages. Neither of those are super long. The premise of both of them sound absolutely fascinating. I won't stop and read all of the Van Vogt because that would get extremely long. And I do have a little bit of reading I'd like to do tonight. I'd like to knock off a chapter or two of Old Man's War. So we have Destination Universe. So this is Fantastic Adventures in Time and Space. This is M33 in Andromeda. So 6 shattering stories by science fiction's mastermind. Let's see what these 6 stories are. Siege of the Unseen, Discord in Scarlet, M33 in Andromeda, The Expendables, Heir Unapparent, and The Weapon Shop. We have The Silky. Look at that. They don't do covers like this anymore. Speaking of covers like this, this is Quest for the Future. And again, it's an interesting cover. You've got a promise of an encounter with a human against a very oversized creature, which will hopefully live up to that promise better than John Gwynne did in Hunger of the Gods. We have Empire of the Atom. I assume that's an atomic bomb. We have The Changeling, which might be one of the thinnest volumes here. This is 128 pages, so not very long at all. The Mind Cage, back in print at last. This classic story of a man's battle to free his mind from another man's body. We've got a fairly beat up copy here of Rogue Ship, but beat up's okay. These are reading copies by all means. We have The Best of A.E. Van Vogt. Introduction by Barry N. Malsberg. So let's see what it has in here. Alright, so we got 11 stories in here. Don't hold your breath. All we have on this planet. War of Nerves. The Roll. I just read The Roll. The Semantics of the 21st Century Science. Future Perfect. Being an examination of the Ponzian and Holmesian secret detective systems. So, Ponzian and Holmesian secret detective systems. Home of the Gods. The Violent Male. Prologue to The Silky, and The Proxy Intelligence. So, again, what a cover. They don't make covers like that anymore. Not to be confused with The Best of. This is The Beast. This one seems interesting. The Wizard of Lynn. So it says, Earth was helpless after the atomic holocaust. Ready, prey for alien invaders. This is in 12,000 AD. So after an atomic holocaust. This is The World of Null A. 200 million AD. A time transport trapped in a battle for survival in a world he was created to rule. Original title, The Book of Pthath. We have Children of Tomorrow. The Weapon Makers. One that I know is on the short list of ones I should probably get to first for the Van Vogt. Voyage of the Space Beagle. Another one that I probably should get to early would be Slan. We have Pendulum. And last, but certainly not least, we have Masters of Time. Which, based on that cover, is perfect for Garbogist, isn't it? I don't know. What do you think, Criminali? Is this a Garbogist book? So it says here on the back, Eternal Youth. That was the lure the alien Masters of Time used to recruit willing disciples. It was within their power to reward the faithful with eternal youth, punish the renegades with everlasting pain of old age. Norma was a helpless victim of the Masters. Jack, who loved her, went into slavery, hoping to save her from bondage. Both of them should have been destroyed, yet somehow they grew stronger. But was their strength enough to save them? And more important, was it enough to save Earth from monstrous fate that the Masters of Time had decreed for it? So, What do you think? Garbogist material right there, based just on that cover. Um, you know, that might be one of the better Garbogist reads if it is. So there you go, Sean. You're welcome. I've got some work to do on collecting some more Simac when I'm able to, make some more free purchases. But I feel like I've got a healthy dose of Van Vogt that I could start chipping away at. So let me know a priority list. Which are the 5 that I should read first and in which order. No promises I'll get to them anytime soon, but maybe I'll set aside a month and just plow through those because none of those are super long. So I could read all 5 of those in the time it would take to read, an epic fantasy of 700 pages. So there you go. Have a great day, and I'll see you around.